Hello Hunt Chef Nation. Today we're gonna make catfish tacos. We got some red beans, we got some rice, and of course some gorgeous catfish fillets. We just fried up the fresh tortilla shells. We got our blackening seasoning we're gonna use on the fish. We got some great fresh citrus, some green onion jalapeno, and a surprise ingredient for catfish tacos, honey goat cheese. You're watching Hunt Chef on Mountaintop Outdoors, and remember, always eat what you kill. So as a base and a serving condiment inside for our catfish tacos, we're gonna make some great red beans. Now these guys, I soaked them overnight. You can see they're nice and wet and shiny, so it's really gonna cut down on our cooking time. And then I've just got some long grain white rice here that we are going to have really just with salt, pepper, and butter and rice. But for the beans, I've got some fresh garlic. We're gonna just use a couple of cloves of it. We're gonna put lots of flavor into these beans here today to balance out our blackened catfish tacos that we're going to top off with the citrus and the vinegar slaw and lots of fresh tasty ingredients there. So we got that guy, those guys, a little bit of red onion we're going to put in there with them. Nothing fancy. These guys are going to stew. They're all going to cook down after we brown them just a little bit in the pot before we add the beans and the chicken broth. And we've got some bell pepper, of course. Again, no fancy knife cuts today. These guys are going to stew in with those beans and add lots of sweet flavor to the backside of that. And then I've got some of my smoked hot sausage. We're just going to chunk this guy up and use that to flavor the whole thing through. Now this actually has some wild boar in it, so wild boar and fresh domestic pork is what we use to make that, and it's nice and spicy. So right now we're going to get these ingredients in the pot. We're going to get them started in there, start till the onions are translucent. We're going to add the beans, we're going to add the chicken broth, and we're going to make some great red beans. We've got started on the stove top. We've got our rice simmering away here now, and we've got all the ingredients for our beans, the sausage, the peppers, the onions, the garlic, everything going back here. And now we're going to add in our red beans. Again, we soaked overnight. We're going to give them a little bit of salt to start cooking with, a little bit of black pepper, and I've got some great, beautiful ground coriander. Now this is going to give us a really nice back flavor with a little bit of actually citrus hints in it for the beans. That'll be enough of that. And then we've got some great homemade chicken broth here that we're going to put right on top and help us cook our beans to tender taco perfection. Now we've got our gorgeous catfish fillets. These are recently lake caught right here in Western PA. So all I'm going to do is cut these guys into fingers, just a nice size that'll fit down in that taco shell and be perfect to bite and crunch through with all the tasty ingredients we're going to have in there with them. So just as simple as that. Got a little bit of cartilage on that one. Okay, we'll do the rest of these guys up, but I've got some of one of my culinary heroes, Paul Prudhomme, the original redfish magic seasoning. I've made different blends before for blackening and seasoning and whatnot, but I mean, why mess with perfection? He nailed it many, many years ago, and we're going to season these guys really liberally with it, top and bottom. And we're going to crank that pan up on the back of the stove, super hot, and we're going to throw this knob of butter in, just like Chef Paul would have, and then we're going to drop these catfish fillets right in there, get them seared really hard, not quite blackened. We're not using cast iron today, but we're kind of trying to mimic that flavor and cooking method. So we'll get the rest of them done up, and then we're going to have the catfish hit the pan. So we've got our catfish fingers all seasoned up for our tacos. We've got this little knob of butter, and I added some fresh jalapenos. As soon as we take the catfish out of the pan, I'm going to put those jalapenos in and just fry them up quickly. So we'll have some of those cooked, and we'll have some raw available as well. So you can see this pan is really hot, and we're not going to use all this butter. We're going to cover the bottom, and I'm going to put this fish right in here. I wish you could smell this catfish already. Oh my gosh, as soon as it hit the pan, awesome flavor just hit my nose. All right, our rice is just about done. We're gonna turn it back here to a bare simmer. Our beans are boiling away hard in the back, and the catfish is frying up in the pan. All right, catfish is ready. Oh man, lots and lots and lots of flavor right there, ladies and gentlemen. Get that pot back on there. We're gonna go right back in it, like I said, with the jalapenos real quick. So we're just gonna brown these guys up. You can hear the seeds popping. Woo! And some jalapeno hitting you right in the nose. But these, once they brown good and char up, it'll be a whole different flavor other than, that's a hot pepper right there in the throat. I love it. It's gonna taste so good. And done. All right. Now, we're almost ready to make some catfish tacos. We've got everything cooked and assembled now and ready to put together our catfish tacos. So we cooked off our rice, and we're gonna make just a little bit of a presentation here for you guys today. But you can imagine, you know, if you had a dinner party or a Sunday afternoon outside with family and friends, that if you just had this ensemble and everybody kind of make their own plate, their own situation, you can have even more condiments and side dishes that would go great, that everybody would have a lot of fun. You know, everybody likes to build their own because everybody has their own tastes. So we've got our red beans that we cooked with the sausage and the bell pepper and the onions and garlic. We're gonna put that right over our bed of rice here. So the rice we finished with just the chicken broth that we cooked it in, just a wee little bit of butter and some salt. Wanted to use that as a bed for these beans, and we've got lots of flavor going on here today. So again, I just fried these shells up today, 6-inch basic corn tortilla. So all this is a great gluten-free option. You certainly could have made the beans vegetarian if you wanted to, omitting the sausage, and replace the chicken broth with water or vegetable stock. So one thing I did, it's a little bit different for tacos, is using goat cheese. Now, there's a lot of people I've come across that say, ugh, I hate goat cheese. But I'm telling you, what I've done here is I've blended it, mixed it up with some great raw local amber honey, changes the flavor completely, and I think is really gonna be a nice surprise for people when we put it in here as a little base for our spicy catfish. Down there, so we take some of our catfish fingers, put those guys in. And again, you could have different slaws, some more raw veggies, anything like that. Some shredded Napa cabbage, whatnot. But this is my signature vinegar slaw. So it's cabbage, red onion, bell pepper, a little bit of carrot, and it has a lot of cider vinegar, more honey, pinch of sugar, salt, salt, and celery seed in there that brings that all together. And we've got our charred up jalapenos. We've got a little bit there, and we're gonna lay one nice whole sprig of cilantro in. And that is a catfish taco. You can repeat that 2 more times. Serve it with your lime wedges. Now we've made some gorgeous catfish tacos here today. We've got the bed of rice and our tasty red beans. You're watching Hunt Chef on Mountaintop Outdoors, and today we made some banging catfish tacos. And remember, always eat what you kill.